Dr. Giger, thank you so much for joining us today. There are a lot of really exciting things happening in the world of AI and how it applies to medical imaging. So AI is a really exciting field, and it's easy now with all the fantastic tools and data sets to get good results, and then we publish it, and we think it should just automatically roll into clinical practice. But there are always challenges with doing that. What do you think are some of the important hurdles that we AI scientists and clinicians need to think about as we consider how to apply AI into the practice?
It is important to understand the changing role of AI in medical imaging in terms of the various medical decision-making tasks, for example, from disease detection to diagnosis to therapeutic response, as well as how AI might be ultimately incorporated by the end user. That is the radiologist, the clinician. Will it be used as a second reader or a concurrent reader or an autonomous reader? So some of the hurdles to the use of AI today include: one, matching the AI algorithm to the specific clinical task, and two, having the clinically proven algorithm used as it's intended to be used. A highly performing algorithm used for the wrong clinical task or used with a difficult computer-human interface may not yield the expected clinical results. Also, many folks and many investigators will have developed a highly performing AI algorithm that gets grant funded, that is peer-reviewed, published, and why is it not being used immediately? Well, it has to go through FDA clearance or approval, and that requires often, if not all the time, an evaluation on an independent data set. So having that independent data set available is very important, and I will get to that in a second. And then once you have FDA clearance or approval, why is it not being used? Well, an AI algorithm will then be put as somewhat a rogue device onto the clinical PACS network or the PACS in the cloud. And that is a translation effort that is not always that simple. And so you have to integrate it into the clinical workflow and have it show its robustness, not just in effectiveness, but also in efficiency. Long time ago, almost 30 years ago, I was told by Jim Lair, my chair at the time, when we were developing AI, that you have to make sure a radiologist does a day's work in a day and not more. And I think that still holds. So how to effectively use it. Now, relative to that need for data sets, a major hurdle is obtaining sufficiently highly curated data sets to train AI algorithms for specific medical imaging interpretation tasks. This includes both number of cases as well as distribution of cases so that all presentations of the disease and of normal are available. Recently, the NIH National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering, the NIBIB, recently funded the Medical Imaging and Data Resource Center, the MIDRC, which will yield an open source database with medical images from tens of thousands of COVID-19 patients. This is to make as much data out there, make it as available to as many research as possible, so that we can develop AI for fighting the COVID-19 pandemic and rapidly then translate the scientific findings into clinical imaging protocols to benefit patients. While this is currently for COVID-19, we hope to expand it to multiple disease sites. This is funded through a federal contract to the University of Chicago with co-investigators from ACR, RSNA, and APM.